Every night, 7 million wild boars destroy enough American cropland to feed entire cities, wiping out $2.5 billion worth of food annually. These invasive armies are exploding 20 boar each year, turning farmland into battlefields. Texas farmer John Martinez lost 50,000 in one night. They destroyed 3 generations of work in hours. TechMotion reveals the hidden war. Sophisticated trapping systems capturing 1.7 million boars yearly. Controversial hunting competitions offering million-dollar prizes. And why even military-grade weapons barely slow this unstoppable invasion. Wild boars aren't just a nuisance to American crops. They represent one of agriculture's most devastating challenges that few consumers understand. But here's what makes this invasion particularly terrifying. These animals don't just affect wheat fields. They spread fear and destruction across canola cultivation areas, destroying irrigation systems and contaminating water sources. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, the 2022 data reveals a shocking reality. Wild boars destroyed approximately 1.5 to 2 million acres, equivalent to about 8% of the nation's cultivated wheat area. What separates this crisis from typical agricultural challenges is the speed of devastation. A single sounder of 30 boars can obliterate 10 acres of mature corn in one night. These numbers highlight a serious problem demanding immediate attention from the agricultural community and industry specialists. The estimated damages reached $2.5 billion in 2022 alone, emphasizing the critical importance of addressing this growing threat. Yet even these staggering numbers don't capture the human cost. The sleepless nights, the destroyed dreams, the family farms on the brink of bankruptcy. This represents profound challenges not only for farmers, but also for authorities and relevant organizations, requiring unprecedented cooperation to find effective solutions for controlling and minimizing the negative impacts of wild boars on America's agricultural industry. The real challenge comes when you understand that traditional farming methods are useless against these intelligent, adaptable invaders. Beyond the immediate destruction, the wild pig situation in the United States represents significant challenges for maintaining environmental balance. Here's where 20 years of farming experience becomes crucial. Understanding that their invasion into unharvested cultivation fields doesn't just reduce farmers' profits, it affects the entire food supply chain. As Texas farmer John Martinez explains while surveying his damaged wheat field at dawn, when you're managing 2,000 acres responsibly, every decision affects both profit and the land that's been in my family for 3 generations. These boars don't just eat crops. They destroy soil structure that takes decades to build. At 4 a.m., when most people are sleeping, we're out here assessing damage because the difference between catching them early and losing everything is measured in hours, not days. Their uncontrolled movement generates devastating impacts on plantations and natural landscapes. A single sounder's rooting behavior can transform productive farmland into unusable terrain within days. But what most people don't realize about this destruction is its long-term environmental impact. Erosion, water contamination, and destroyed wildlife habitats. To address this problem, wild boar management programs are implemented to control their numbers and minimize environmental and agricultural sector impacts. This represents a crucial part of efforts to protect rural landscapes and maintain the prosperity of farmers' habitats. The pressure of these decisions sways heavily, especially when you understand what comes next in the battle against these invaders. Faced with this crisis, many individuals and government agencies have developed solutions for dealing with wild boars. The government issued licenses for those learning capture methods and encouraged farmers to practice them. This is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Farmers becoming hunters, agriculturalists becoming strategists. Typically, a medium-sized boar cage costs between $500 and $1,000. Larger cages capable of holding more boars cost more. Wild boar cages are made from various materials, including steel, wire mesh, and composite materials. Yet even with this investment, success requires something most people never consider: understanding boar psychology. Once completed, trap cages are placed in areas frequented by wild boars. In American agriculture and hunting, steel trap cages are frequently preferred due to their durability and high resistance to boar attacks. The cage capture method is relatively simple, and I recommend trying it. However, for your bait to attract more boars, there are crucial details to consider. What happens next will show you why farmers call this the chess game of survival. Comment 1 if you enjoyed the video, comment 0 if it wasn't your thing. An effective tactic is mixing corn bait with honey, a proven method for attracting wild boars from distance. But here's what separates successful trappers from failures. It's important to mix sufficient honey, not just to maintain attractiveness, but to ensure trap effectiveness. John shares his hard-earned wisdom. After 20 years, you learn to read the land like a book and respect it like your church. The placement of that trap, the amount of bait, even the wind direction, everything matters. This isn't just work. It's a calling to protect the food supply and preserve the land for future generations. When that trap springs at night, it's not just catching pests, it's saving next year's harvest. After setting your trap overnight, return the next day and you'll discover many interesting things during your hunt. The anticipation of checking traps becomes an emotional roller coaster. Hope mixed with desperation, relief mixed with exhaustion. Beyond cage traps, corral traps are frequently used by groups or organizations. Installing these traps requires several people working together. You can also install it alone if proficient. Food to attract boars is placed in the trap center. When darkness falls, wild boars begin searching for food. They usually travel in groups at night. The trap's food will attract them, bringing the entire herd inside. This level of coordination might seem excessive until you see what happens when farmers get it wrong. The trap system connects to a home server. Simply activate the trap button, and the gate system operates. When the new day begins, it's possible to drive out for the harvest. According to the USDA report, the number of wild boars captured in the United States in 2022 was approximately 1.7 million. This number increased about 10% compared to 2021. Yet even this massive effort barely slows the invasion. After capture, wild boars undergo not only washing, but also face the skin removal and processing procedure. No easy task. Processing wild boar sometimes becomes a challenge for workers. If not done correctly, it can lead to wasting large amounts of precious meat. Each step of this process requires skill, experience, and highly specialized professional knowledge. What most consumers never see is the precision required in every cut, every decision. There are many ways to prepare wild boar meat. First, the boar is frozen overnight. Freezing helps prevent bacterial growth in boar meat, after which the carcass can be divided into different pieces and smoked. Additionally, wild boar meat can be separated from lean meat, mixed with other seasonings, and packaged in sealed bags before being offered to others. For nearby people, you can cook it directly and gift it. According to the USDA report, wild boar meat production in the United States in 2022 was approximately 1.5 million tons. This production increased about 5% compared to 2021. But the real story isn't in these statistics. It's in the dedication of processors working through the night to ensure nothing goes to waste. The European wild boar triggered a surprising story when brought to Canada in the early 1980s, hoping to open a new, unique pork market attractive to tourists. However, this good intention quickly became a dangerous problem when loose pigs began roaming mountains and forests, reproducing at dizzying speed. Here's where the invasion story becomes truly alarming. According to Canadian government estimates, the country's wild boar population increased from about 100 animals in 1990 to an impressive 1.2 million animals by 2023. This explosion represents one of the fastest invasive species growths ever recorded. Canadian hunter Michael Maximov, who spent 15 years tracking these animals, explains, "People think hunting is about the thrill, but for us, it's about survival. Every boar we remove saves acres of wheat, protects water sources, prevents disease spread. When I'm out there at 3 a.m. in -20 weather, I'm not thinking about sport. I'm thinking about the families whose livelihoods depend on stopping these destructive herds. We're not just hunters, we're the last line of defense." Wild boars, being omnivores, can consume many different food types, from plant matter to garbage. This not only threatens the natural environment, but has become a major agricultural industry problem, causing millions of dollars in losses annually. The pressure mounts when you realize each sow can produce 6 to 10 piglets per litter, twice a year. In growing wheat fields, wild boars frequently invade at night to feast on young wheat. Their ability to consume tons of wheat in just one night has caused enormous harvest damage, with Canadian government estimates speaking of damages reaching $100 million annually. But what makes night hunting particularly challenging is the danger involved. To control boar populations, the Canadian government implemented many measures, including hunting, trap usage, and even chemical injections. However, this isn't easy and requires strong coordination between stakeholders to face the growing challenge of boar populations. The dedication required for this work goes beyond what most people can imagine. Night field hunting became popular since the 2000s, as boars are usually active during these hours. This method offers many advantages, including high effectiveness with greater success probability, increased safety as boars are less aggressive during the day, and time savings as they concentrate in fields during the day. A hunter recounts an adventure in an Alberta wheat field, showing the excitement and success of taking down a boar at night. On July 20th, 2023, a Canadian hunter killed a giant boar weighing over 500 kilos. This boar is believed to be the largest ever hunted in Canada. These moments of triumph barely make a dent in the growing population. Door traps are an effective means of capturing wild boars, operating by activating a spring latch when the boar enters. This spring latch is designed to close the door, becoming an effective boar capture mechanism. The engineering behind these systems represents decades of refinement. First, install traps in locations where boars commonly appear, such as areas where they live or feed. Bait needs to be placed to attract boars from outside into the trap. This is usually done using foods boars enjoy, like corn, potatoes, carrots, and others. To monitor trap performance, a camera should be installed nearby to check regularly and ensure the trap functions correctly. This constant vigilance takes its toll on farmers already working 16-hour days. When boars are detected, the trap activates automatically and captures them. In areas without boars, the trap cage is moved to another area for capture. To move the trap, the large round frame trap cage can be towed through different areas using a car trailer. This cage is large enough to hold many boars at once, increasing the possibility of capturing many simultaneously. Yet even these sophisticated systems struggle against the reproductive rate of these invaders. Wild boars are becoming an increasingly serious problem in the United States. According to Department of Agriculture estimates, currently about 5 to 7 million wild boars live in the country. Here's the truly terrifying part. This number is increasing at a dizzying speed, about 20% annually. Wild boars are animals with extremely high fertility, especially sows, which can give birth to 6 to 10 piglets per litter. With an average lifespan of up to 15 years, they represent a significant challenge for agriculture and the environment. The damage wild boars cause to American farms is estimated at up to $2.5 billion annually. They frequently destroy crops, steal food, and are a disease source for livestock. But beyond the numbers lies a human story of perseverance. The southern and central United States are where wild pigs are most invasive, especially Texas, Alabama, Arkansas, and Mississippi. To address this problem, wild boar hunting competitions are organized, attracting thousands of hunters worldwide. Here's where controversy enters the picture. Is competitive hunting an effective solution or just entertainment? Events like Texas Hogfest, the North American Hunting Club's Boar Hunt, and the Great American Boar Hunt have become popular and famous activities in the hunting community. Although considered an effective measure for controlling boar numbers, it also faces opposition from animal protection organizations concerned about this method. The wild boar hunting competition called Kill 'Em All is an annual event held in Texas each October, created for entertainment purposes and to attract media attention. This competition is shocking as participating hunters use heavy weapons to carry out the mission of hunting boars indiscriminately. The ethical questions raised divide communities. Competition information includes various categories such as total number of boars hunted, heaviest boar, and smallest boar. The winner of each category receives valuable prizes, with the total number of boars hunted winning the main prize of $100,000. The competition also awards gold, silver, and bronze medals to winners in each category. Yet even these organized efforts barely slow the invasion's advance. Texas Hogfest, held every October in San Antonio, has become one of the country's largest and most famous competitions. The competition attracts participation from thousands of hunters worldwide. With attractive prizes, the contest isn't just an opportunity to test hunting skills, but also a race to win valuable rewards. But the real victory would be stopping the 20% annual population growth. In this invisible battle, one truth becomes undeniable. The farmers and hunters fighting these 7 million invaders aren't just protecting crops. They're the last line of defense between civilization and an agricultural collapse. Every pre-dawn trap check, every sleepless night monitoring fields represents profound dedication that keeps food on American tables. These men and women wake at 4 a.m., risk everything, and transform from farmers into warriors because they understand what's at stake, not just their livelihoods, but our entire food security. But capturing 1.7 million boars yearly isn't enough when they're multiplying by 20% annually. That's why farmers are now leading the largest eradication operation in American history. A massive coordinated effort you won't believe until you see it. Click the video on your screen or in the description. I'll wait for you there.